Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton says the latest Durham probe indictment shows the Trump collusion conspiracy may have a criminal element and involve the Clinton campaign. One America's John Hines has more from Washington.
Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch, you have been pursuing transcripts, 302s, that sort of thing, of meetings between FBI and the Democratic leading law firm Perkins Coie since 2018. Now Special Prosecutor John Durham, who has been quiet for quite a while and has been frustrating a number of people, I think, who have followed this. Now that Durham has indicted a Washington attorney named Michael Sussman for supposedly lying to the FBI, what is your reaction? Now that we are getting an indictment, can we assume Durham is going after the small fish first, or is this all he's got, sir?
Well, Michael Sussman, in my view, isn't a small fish. He's a significant fish in what was really a small pond of co-conspirators who were concocting a lie about Donald Trump, which was that he was a tool of the Russians, and more specifically in the Sussman case, that there were nefarious or something worth pursuing interactions between a Russian bank called the Alpha Bank and the Trump organization, when in fact, as the indictment alleges, there were no such connections worth pursuing. It was a red herring. They knew it was false, and yet they brought it to the FBI anyway. Sussman did. And Sussman specifically is being indicted for lying to the FBI about the reason he was there. He suggested, according at least to this indictment, that he was there on his because he's a fine American citizen, when in fact he was there for Hillary Clinton.
Isn't it important here to mention, though, as a point of background for people who may not be following this as closely as you have in Judicial Watch, the role of Perkins Coie with regard to the Democratic Party and also the Hillary Clinton campaign? Because my understanding is that the Clinton campaign paid $1 million or so to this law firm Perkins Coie, allegedly. And Perkins Coie then employed Fusion GPS and Mr. Steele to do this dossier. So it was a way of sending campaign dollars and noting that as a legal expense, correct? Am I correct in that? And so yeah, Mr. Sussman was an attorney with Perkins Coie then, right?
Right. Sussman was one of the top attorneys.
And that's the connection that's important to have here.
And this is the firm that hired Steele. This is the firm that paid in part for the dossier. You have to remember who else was paying for the dossier was the FBI at the same time. So if I'm Sussman, I'm going to say, oh, they all knew who I was working for. You know, if there was a miscommunication, it was obvious that I was working there. You know, everyone knew I worked for the DNC and the Clinton campaign. Perkins Coie was well known as a Democrat campaign legal firm. The main partner there who was doing a lot of this work on behalf of the Clinton campaign was Mark Elias, who became infamous for pushing changes to the election laws in 2020 that radically changed the infrastructure of our election system in a way that undermined confidence in the outcome of the election. But here in 2016, he, his firm, and his colleague are concocting, it looks like, according to the indictment, a false story against Donald Trump that they attempted to launder through the FBI. And you know what Durham says is if the FBI had specifically known that the purpose of this information being brought to them was to advance the political cause of Hillary Clinton, it would have been handled differently. It didn't mean it wouldn't have been investigated, but certainly it would have been investigated in a very different way and maybe in a more skeptical way. You know, but on the other hand, you know, we've got to understand also that the meeting itself should never have been taken by the FBI General Counsel. And the FBI was, even before this meeting, working hand in glove with the Clinton campaign. Other documents, the IG report, for instance, shows that the FBI told Steele that they were looking at Trump, and they knew Steele was a Clinton campaign operative. So the FBI and the Clinton campaign were partners in many ways. And Durham would have us believe, in this case specifically, the FBI didn't know that it was a partner in this specific interaction. But there's no doubt, generally speaking, this indictment shows that the effort to push this Trump collusion conspiracy now has a criminal element to it, and it involves the Clinton campaign.
Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch, thanks for talking to us on One American News, sir. Always good to talk to you.
You're welcome. Thank you, John.
Want to see more videos like this? Visit OANN.com for immediate access to all the clips you've been waiting to see.